I'm enjoying the game now. I want to play all the time, and you know, it's fun. I mean, golf now is fun for me. I look forward to playing. I look forward to practicing. I look forward to sending videos into the coaches, getting feedback, little tweaks, and just been a phenomenal experience. Love it. So my problem before I started the single plane swing was not one problem. It was many problems. I mean, it was just mainly inconsistency. You know, one day I would shoot, you know, a decent score. I may have broke 90 a couple of times, and that would have been a good day for me, but just super inconsistent. There would be days that I would hit some good shots, you know, maybe shoot a decent round, and then there'd be other days where I couldn't hit a ball. Like I would shank everything. The shanks were the big thing for me. Pushing the ball right, shanking the ball, you know, hitting the ball fat constantly. That was annoying, like to the point where my hand would hurt. So, you know, I just wasn't a really good golfer at all. And, you know, I put time into it. You know, I took lessons many a times, spent a lot of time at the range. You know, I would swing in my yard, you know, put two tees down in the yard and try to swing through them. Like I would work at it, and nothing was working. So what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, and, you know, expecting a change. So for me, I was like, hey, you know, I'm on the fence, but nothing else has been working, so I'm going to go on this side of the fence, Graves Golf Academy, and just make a decision. And when you make that decision, commit to it. You know, that's the biggest thing, is you have to commit to it. And if you commit to it, you're going to see results. I promise you, no doubt about it. If you follow what they teach you, you're going to see results. It's just a matter of time. So one thing I really love about the academy is it's not just about the swing, you know, the full swing. It's about the short game as well. There's a lot of information and content in there that's been really useful. You know, how to hit out of a bunker, how to chip, how to putt. All of these things are just super important for your game, and that's one of the main reasons why my handicap dropped so dramatically, is because I was able to go in there and learn how to, you know, learn how to chip and putt, learn how to read putts. You know, hazard or conditions where, you know, maybe you're in the rough, or again, bunker shots. Most people hate going in the bunkers. I enjoy it now because I know how to do it, and I get a good result when I'm in the bunker. Not that I try to go in the bunker, obviously, but when I'm in there, I'm not panicking. And so, again, information on the short game, just the, you know, everything's in there. But for me, the short game is something that there's just not a lot of information out there that is, you know, is very helpful. So I love it. I love going in there and working on my short game, being able to find whatever it is I need, and it's been super helpful. What surprised me the most inside of Graves Golf Academy is, you know, when I send a video into coaches, just the knowledge these guys have. I mean, they're able to see things that I'm like, oh man, I didn't even notice that. You know, in my swing mechanics or my grip. You know, early on there was a lot of things I was working on, but you know, now that I've got it down pretty good, still making little tweaks. You know, we're always working for perfection. And again, if pros are using coaches, you know, I'm going to use them. So the coaching is just second to none. I mean, it's so helpful, and they tell you, you know, make sure you send videos in. That was very surprising to me. Is like, you know, they're super adamant about making sure that you're getting helped. Like, they don't want you to be a part of it if you're not going to use it. And you know, that was kind of odd to me. You know, they're not just trying to take my money. They really truly care and want me to get better. And they're, you know, sending your videos. They're not sending in enough videos. You know, are you practicing? And you know, just holding me accountable. And I just absolutely love that. It's awesome. So it's been about a year, I think, maybe a little longer than a year since I've, you know, been working with the single plane swing. Prior to, I, you know, may have broke 90 a few times. My handicap, if I had to have a handicap, it'd probably be, you know, somewhere around 20 maybe. My handicap's lowered to 7.1 as we speak. And I live in Pittsburgh, so it's not like I get to golf all year round. But again, I mean, it's just being able to learn every aspect of the swing. They're able to qualify the golf swing. You know, Todd knows, like he proves it through biomechanics. There's just so much knowledge and information on why the traditional golf swing is super hard to learn and why it doesn't work for most people, and why the single plane golf swing is simplified and will work for you if you just, you know, put what you're learning to use. Tim, with his short game knowledge, I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it really is. Like, I've never seen so much information on the short game, and to be able to take that information, put it to work, and use it in my own game, and see that it actually does work. These guys are just geniuses. I mean, they really are. So, super blessed to be a part of this academy and have Tim and Todd Graves, you know, at the forefront of it. It's just, they're just awesome people and super, super knowledgeable.
Good afternoon. My name is Ed Harper, and I went single plane approximately 22 years ago. That's when I started. I saw an article about Mo Norman in the Golf Digest, and it said nobody knows what Mo knows. So I read that, and I was quite interested. So I started playing around with it for a few years. So I went to the school with my oldest son, and we both kind of fell in love with the single plane. 3 months after I went to the school, I got my first hole-in-one. So that really enticed me to go completely with the single plane. Well, I've had some medical issues and bad back, so that put me out of commission for a while. So I had to, the only way I could swing was with the single plane. I could not do conventional golf anymore, so I was completely single plane. It's the only way I could swing the club. And I noticed as I got a little older, I was still maintaining the distance that I had when I was younger. So I really liked that. I was more consistent and enjoyed the game just tremendously. The schools are great. Boy, it's really evolved, but it's improved tremendously. And I really love the on-demand, and I'm a gold member and have been for quite a few years. And I really like the coaches, that I can send something in and they'll watch my video and get me back on track. And the coaches I've met, Trent and Clay, have done an excellent job with me. So I've talked 4 of my friends into coming to the Graves Golf Schools. One that lives in St. George, and she loved it, absolutely. And 2 that live in Idaho Falls, and they loved it. And then the greatest thing I did come back this year was to be with my son and his son. So we have 3 generations here learning the single plane. Well, the most noticeable improvement with the single plane for me was hitting a lot more fairways, more consistent. in the takeaway and in the swing in general. It lowered my scores quite a bit. I got down to a 5 handicap for many, many years and played in a lot of tournaments, won quite a few, and got high rank in quite a few other ones, and it's just really enjoyed it. And a lot of my friends thought I was crazy switching because I was pretty good conventionally, but I wanted that consistency and the one setup, and I didn't have to listen to multiple pros telling me this and that and changing my mind. So I just stayed with it because I love the idea of one model to go with. That's what I did. And here I am. I love it. It works. It's simple. My friends all know how simple it is because they watch me as I take their quarters or whatever. We have some small little bets and we have a great time with it. I want to get up every day. I love to practice and I love the game, and I just really look forward to every day that I can go play.
What is happiness? Happiness is achievement. What's the father of achievement? Motivation. What's the mother? Encouragement. The fine golf swing is truly achievement. Man may lie, cheat, and steal for gain. But he'll never gain the golf swing. To gain the golf swing, man must work. It's work without toil. For those of us who know and love it, golf is truly happiness.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining me tonight. My name is Todd Graves. I'm co-founder of Graves Golf. Tonight, my goal for you is to show you a golf swing that's going to save your body, save your back, but the most important thing I'm going to do is show you the most consistent way to hit a golf ball with a golf club and play better golf. My goal tonight is to show you an easier swing that's going to solve every golf problem you have for the rest of your life. And let me tell you how I came across this. And as we go into tonight, you're going to learn a lot about the golf swing. But I'm like you. Years ago, I was struggling with my golf game. I was frustrated. I was confused. I may be like you. You're watching YouTube. You're looking for instruction. You're watching the Golf Channel. You're seeing the guys on TV. You're seeing all this information out there, and you're trying stuff. Maybe you're even taking lessons. That's where I was. And I got so frustrated. Matter of fact, my story goes down to a moment in time. I was playing golf. I was a professional golfer, and I'm playing golf overseas. I was lucky enough to be invited to play on the Asian Golf Tour as a tour player. And I was a rookie. I wasn't a great player on tour, but I was lucky enough to be good enough to play on the Asian Tour. So think about it. I'm thousands of miles away from home, and I'm not the greatest player in the world, but I'm good enough to stay out there and try to figure it out. And I thought, man, if I just become a better player, eventually I'll be able to compete and play on a big tour somewhere. So my aspiration was to become a great player. Like, you want to be a better player? That was my aspiration too. But I'll never forget the moment I'm standing on the 18th tee. I'm in New Delhi, India. And I always tell people, this is probably the scariest place I've ever played golf. And I'm standing on the 18th tee. And this is what happened. I'm hitting a driver, and I'm standing over a golf ball, and I can't move. I'm frozen over the golf ball. That's because the course over the entire 18 holes seemed to get tighter and tighter and tighter. If you missed a fairway, there was snakes that my caddy wouldn't even go look for the golf ball. There was things out there that would kill you if you missed the fairway. It got so much to the point where I was so afraid to swing, and I thought to myself, standing over that shot on the 18th tee in New Delhi, I don't ever want to feel like this again. I don't ever want to be scared of my golf swing. I don't want to be worried about my golf game. I've got to figure this out. And that's a thought I had in my head. Luckily, I finished the round, and when I got back, I went to my roommate, who was Billy Casper's son, Bobby Casper. I said, Bobby, I don't ever want to feel like that again in my golf game. It was miserable to feel like I didn't know what I was doing in my golf swing. When I returned from the Asian Tour, I went on a mission. And that mission was to find a better way to play golf. And that's why I'm standing in front of you tonight, is I want to teach you what I learned an easier way. And by the way, I want to teach you a low maintenance way. I want to teach you a way that you no longer guess at your golf swing. I want to show you a simple way. I'm not going to confuse you tonight. My promise to you is to show you what I learned from that frustrating experience that will, if you will do what I tell you tonight and take the journey that I took and just trust me on this, I'm going to show you what I learned is the easiest possible way to play the game. And from that point forward, once I learned that, I've had more fun playing the game of golf. I've been teaching thousands of golfers around the world an easier, more consistent, more fun, better on the body way to play. That's what I'm going to do with you tonight. Now, I'm not only going to show you the golf swing that'll save you and save your body, save your back, and make you more consistent, but I'm also going to show you how to learn it. So I'm not just going to leave you hanging tonight, all right? So that's what I'm going to do for you. Now, here's what I want you to understand is how many of you, and by the way, I have a chat, and I'm going to interact with you tonight. So I love talking to you. We're going to take some questions as well this evening. So in the chat, and there's a little bit of a delay for me in the chat, so if you have questions, please post those in there, and I'll get to them when I find some time. And I may ask you a few questions. How many of you out there have taken golf instruction before, right? I did the same thing. When I got back from the Asian tour, from that miserable experience in New Delhi, I started working with the best instructors in the world. And guess what? I got worse. I spent 3 years working with the best instructors. Maybe many of you have worked with some great instructors, but for some reason, me working with I got confused. There was so much information out there, just like you're probably seeing in YouTube. You're probably seeing it all over the internet, probably seeing it every day when you talk about instruction. You know, put your hands up here, put your hands over here, grip it like this, tilt like this, take it back outside, take it back inside. There's so much information. What do you do, right? Do you copy Rory? Do you copy Tiger? Who do you copy in today's world, right? How do you get your swing right? And it's so confusing. Well, I went through that same process for 3 years until I met a man named Mo Norman. And Mo Norman was known as the greatest ball striker that's ever played the game. And I want to talk tonight about what he taught me. I spent 10 years learning from the greatest ball striker that's ever played the game. Now, if you want to look him up, look up Mo Norman, Tiger Woods, Vijay Singh, Ken Venturi. I talked to Peter Jacobson. Some of the best players in the history of the game regarded Mo Norman as the greatest ball striker that's ever played the game. I'm going to show you what he taught me tonight. And what Mo Norman taught me, which I now call the single plane swing, what he taught me is the absolute most fundamental way to play golf. Matter of fact, I'll tell you this, I'll even promise you that it's common sense. And I know it's going to sound weird because it's not complicated, the things I'm going to show you. If anything I say to you tonight doesn't make total common sense, I want you to put it in the chat and say, Todd, that makes no sense at all. But I'm going to promise you tonight that everything I'm going to tell you makes common sense. And some of it's going to it's going to go against maybe something you may have heard in your other instruction. Now, let's start like this. Let me teach you the single plane swing, right? And I'm going to show you why it's a single plane swing. Because the most important thing we're going to do is get the club to where? The moment of impact. I'm going to put this on the board. I'm going to use my board over here to highlight some of the key notes for tonight. The first thing is this. We're going to teach you the single plane swing. So I'm going to teach you the single plane swing, right? A simple way to get the club to where? And I'm going to highlight this one. This is going to be a big one for us tonight. Impact. We've got to get the club to impact. If I was to show you the greatest golfers in the world, you're going to see a very similar impact position. So let's define impact for you tonight, because everything I teach you about the swing is going to help you get to that moment, impact. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of show you this. And this is, look, I like to get right into the instructions. So I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. Let's go right to where we want to be at impact. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my impact position. Now I want you to look at this. Do you see some elements here? First of all, I want you to notice the tilt of the body. There's always going to be tilt of the body because that gets the hands in front of the golf ball. Notice how there's an alignment with the club and the arm. So you're going to see, notice how my body is rotated, my shoulders are tilted, and my lead arm lines up with the club. That allows me to compress the golf ball. If you don't take a divot, we have to get in this position where the hands can lead into impact. So there's my impact position. Now, this will look very similar to what you've seen with the greatest players in the world, right? They all get to this nice, beautiful impact position. Let's go down the line. And you're going to see that I'm going to go to impact again, and you're going to see the club lining up with my trail arm, see my shoulders pretty much down the target line, see my lead arm, and this is how it would compress a golf ball. So that should look pretty familiar to you. And by the way, it just as a side note, I recommend that anytime you're working on your golf swing, it doesn't matter if you decide to learn the single plane swing or not, it has to be focused on getting to the moment of impact. All good instruction should help you get to impact. Well, that's what tonight's going to be all about, is I want to help you get to that most important moment. Now, but there's two things I want to do with you. One, I want to do it the easiest way possible. So my goal is everything I teach you tonight is to simplify getting to that moment. If I can do that, and you can put some comments in the chat, isn't the goal to become consistent? Right? Consistency is our goal. We want to get to impact consistently. And if I do that, I hit the ball consistently. And if I do that, I can predict where it's going to go. And if I do that, I can play great golf. So I want to get you to impact consistently. Now, the second thing that I want to do for you is I want to get the club on plane. All good players swing on plane. Plane is very simple. Plane is, this club is designed on a plane, right? This is a 6-iron. If it's a driver, it's on a little flatter plane. So there's a plane here. I want to swing the club on plane because I have to return it to plane at impact. So the goal is to swing the club on plane. So I want to do two things. Actually, three things. I want to get you to impact consistently. I want to do it in the easiest way possible. And I want to make sure the club is on plane so it simplifies how we get there. That's the goals for tonight. Let me know if that makes sense to you, right? And this is what you should be doing in your golf swing anyway. All the above, okay? All right, so let me do that with you. So I'm gonna teach you an easier way to get to impact. But let's compare this to the conventional swing just for a minute, right? I want to do a comparison. Here's what you've learned in the conventional golf swing. I want you to look back for just a minute at where I was at impact. If you look at where I'm at impact, you notice that the club is lined up with my trail arm. It lines up with the trail arm at impact, back to the plane. So why is that important? Because there's mass on this club, and when you swing it, it's trying to pull away from your body, and it's going to naturally line up with your three arms, right? You're not going to impact like this. You're going to impact in an alignment. That's a natural force that's happening during the swing. Everybody understands that? That this mass moving in a circle around the body is going to be pulling out on the arms, right? So I've got to line it up with the arms at impact. But let me show you what you've probably learned. You probably learned to hang the arms below the shoulders. This would be what they would consider a conventional address, where the arms hang straight down, and then you grip the club. And I want to show you what I think the problem with that is I call it the one mistake, is you're not going to impact here. When you swing, again, the forces pull out on the club, and now you got a little problem. You're too close to the ball. So you have to lift up, pull away, lift your feet off the ground, and try to get the club to impact. So we have this upward motion, this downward motion, and these things occurring. And this is why if you have back pain, you're probably struggling with your back pain, because the conventional golf swing, because it has, we call it two planes, two angles, you have a problem you're trying to solve, and you're compressing the back, and you're turning the body, and you're what we call shearing the back. You've probably experienced that. I know that when I was a conventional golfer before I met Mo Norman, I did that. Well, let me show you something that should be common sense. What if you did this? What if instead of starting the club with your arms below the shoulders, what if you simply put the club at address on the impact plane? Now, look how the club is already lined up with my arm. And watch this. When I take the club back and I come down, I no longer have to lift my body, no longer have to lift. It comes right back down to what? The impact plane. And so now I've taken away the pressure on my back. See that? So it becomes a straight line down the plane to impact. I told you it's going to be common sense. I'm starting the club on the same plane that I'm impacting. But there's more to it than that. Let's go through it, because I want to teach you this. When you see me set up to the golf ball, this is what the single plane swing looks like. I'm going to start with my address and grip position. And this is where I start. Notice how I already have the alignment of the lead arm of the club. You see, I have simplified even what you're seeing on this angle is I already have the alignment. Look, I'm going to show you how close my address is at start to impact. Here's my address to start. Watch impact. There's impact. Look how simple that is. Look how close this is to this. Address, impact. Address, impact. It's simply a transfer of weight to the lead side. It's all that is. So transfer of weight, compress the ball. So I can do that because I already have the club on a single plane and I'm just keeping it on that plane. So you're noticing now that this is kind of what I wanted to get to tonight. I've simplified my body's ability to get the club from the address position to impact. I've eliminated movement. I've eliminated stress. And this is how I'm going to save your golf game like it saved mine. Let me go through the positions of the swing. And I'm going to go through these positions and I'm going to show them to you from a face-on view. I'm looking at you now from a face-on view. I'm going to show you this from a face-on view. Then I'm going to show you from a down-the-line view, and you got something really remarkable happening with this. So here's the positions of the swing, and you're going to see there's position 1 in the backswing, leverage the club at the top. There's that transfer of weight. Position 3, there's that impact position 4, extension position 5, and then I'm going to finish position 6, right? So there's the swing. Looks pretty simple, right? I'll do it one more time. There's the alignments when I start. I'll go to the backswing, position 2, transfer of weight, impact, extension, finish. Now I'll do it kind of without, I'll just kind of go with slow motion for you. There's the address, backswing, transfer of weight, all the way through, all the way to finish. So, looks pretty simple, right? Watch this. Now I'm going to show you how that motion right there is a single plane swing. And how when I do that, it's allowing me to move the club on a single plane, but what's important about that is it's making it easier to get to impact. So watch this again now. I'm going to go through that same motion. I'm going to back up so I can make this full swing here, okay? So watch this again. I'm starting. I'm going back. Watch what happens. You see that plane of that club right there? That plane is the same angle as that starting plane. That and that. See that? You can kind of see it on camera there. That plane's the same. So it goes back to the plane, goes up. Look at that. Goes to the plane again, back to the plane. So everywhere in the swing, plane. So I'll do it again. Plane, 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 and watch this. Plane. That's parallel as well. So you're seeing how I'm now moving the club on a single plane. This is what so many golfers struggle with, is they start in an incorrect position with 2 planes. They fight their ability of where's the club going to go. They try to get it, and somehow they have to get it on plane. They have to make all this movement, and then they're too close to the golf ball. Now, tour players, you see them all the time, they have practiced enough to figure out how to get this on plane. They hit thousands of golf balls. They find enough manipulation to get it on plane because every good player has to swing on plane. So my question to you, and you can comment in the chat if you'd like, doesn't it make sense to start, take it back on plane, and bring it down back to the plane in the most effective way possible? Now, I don't usually do this in these shows, but I want to do it for you tonight. And then I want to talk about how I can teach you how to learn this very quickly. By the way, how many of you in the chat want to learn this? Because I'm always interested. Some of you, I see the chat coming on the screen here a little bit, and there's a little bit of delay. How many of you would love to learn this swing and just make it easier and simplify it? I know that was me years ago. I just want to make it easy. And I wanted to make it low maintenance. I don't want to practice all the time. Look, I love to practice. But when I practice, I like to have good results, right? I mean, practice is fun. Practice isn't fun when you're not good. Practice is fun when you're learning and you're getting better. How many of you want to get better at practice, right? So yeah, somebody made a comment, perfect sense, right? It makes perfect sense. Here's a comment. I'm told light grip creates speed at impact. Any training ideas? Okay, we'll talk about some of the questions here coming in. Thanks for the questions. Great, we got some thumbs up. So I appreciate the comments. So the goal is to simplify this and make it easier and make it low maintenance as well. One thing I don't ever do in these shows, and I'm going to do it tonight because it's a little bit technical, is I want to show you some principles of the single plane swing that prove to you that the body is moving less and more efficiently. If I can do things that I'm more efficient with, in other words, you have to define what simple means. I'm up here saying, well, the swing's easier, right? And you saw the swing plane. Everybody saw the swing plane. But you don't know really why it's easier. And there's plenty of golf instructors, guys like me out there, that are saying, oh, the swing's easier, but they never prove it. So I want to prove it to you tonight. Okay, I'm going to prove it to you. I want to give you some of the information that I've studied when I met Mo and spent 10 years learning with him, that he basically intuitively figured out that the body has an easy way to move when he swings on a single plane. Watch this. Okay, this is where it gets kind of fun, and this is kind of my wheelhouse. I love talking about this stuff. When I'm tilted, you notice that I have a little more tilt, right? There's more tilt than you'd see in your conventional swing. This is a very important thing, is tilt in this golf swing. So tilt, what that does is it puts the shoulder in flexion. See my shoulder's higher? That's exactly where it's going to be at impact. So I've simplified my lead shoulder position from address. So we've already made an adjustment with tilt that simplifies the shoulder position. Well, what's interesting about that, it's putting this hand, we'll talk more about this, it's putting this hand in its full range. Well, that's where it's going to be at impact. So in other words, I'm not putting it here and having to somehow figure out how to get to impact. I'm already putting it where I'm going to impact. So you notice the lead arm is in a position to simplify impact. The trail arm, and by the way, we'll talk about how lead arm moves. And the trail arm, watch this. The trail arm is, you may call this a strong grip. I call it a neutral grip, but you'll notice the hand looks a little bit under the club like this. That's what's lining it up on the single plane. Well, that hand position is now non-rotational. It's when I go back and down, notice how I'm not rotating the hand. If you ever skip a rock, that's what you would feel is that skip the rock. You don't rotate the arm when you skip a rock. You simply take the arm back and you skip. Well, that's what I'm doing here with the trail hand. Do you notice that the tilt, the lead arm being already in its impact position, and the trail hand being in a skipping the rock, look how simple that is. And here's what's funny. Look how easy it goes back to impact every time. Square. Watch the face. It's going to square up every time. Square. Look how simple that motion is. Square. And that's because of those elements. Shoulder and arm position, non-rotational, back to impact. That's all you need to learn to do to hit a golf ball well. There and there. And watch that. It goes on plane every time. There, 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 there. On plane every time. It's such a simple motion if you get the body positions right. Okay. So that's simplification. There's all other things too that simplify the swing. You no longer have the shaft lift. We talked about that. You don't start here and lift here, which means you don't have the body lift. So we've reduced body lift. We're reducing rotation. We're reducing body lift. We've eliminated rotation of the arm. I've eliminated tilt because if I've started with tilt, I don't have to add more tilt. See, those four things right there are simplifying what? Your ability to get to impact. That's what simplification, that's the definition of simple. So if somebody's teaching you, well, I got a simple swing, you got to say, how is it simplifying impact? That's the only thing that matters, is how does it help me get to where I want to get to? Okay, I'm just giving you some advice. If you decide to learn the swing for me or not, that's fine, but you need to be focused on getting the club to impact in the easiest possible way. Now, here's the thing. This is where I really want to talk to you about learning this golf swing. If you're interested in learning this swing, put it in the chat. If you want to learn this thing, give me a thumbs up. I want to learn. I mean, trust me, this will transform how much fun you have playing the game of golf. If you can find a simple way to hit a golf ball with the single plane swing, it'll change the way you play golf. It'll save your back, change the way you play golf. You'll have more fun, and you'll beat your buddies. And your buddies will go, what happened? Why are you so good right now? I've seen this happen so many times in my career when I teach people the single plane swing. I want to teach it to you. Here's the thing. I want to also give you a perfect strategy for learning it, right? And here's what I think is missing in the way you've learned the golf swing. I'll bet, and you guys you can give me a 2 thumbs up on this one because I'll know the difference. Give me 2 thumbs up if you feel like you've been in like a quick fix world, like you're looking for a fix. And this is what golf instruction really is the Golf Channel is going to give you the fix. They have a show called The Fix, right? They're going to fix you. They're going to fix you, right? And trust me, I've been there. I've been in the whole fix world. But I'm not a quick fix guy. I'm a formula guy. I'm a strategy guy. I'm going to help you build and create a perfect swing that lasts you a lifetime. That's my goal for you. Okay, here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you my perfect learning formula. Somebody give me a 4 thumbs up if you want my formula. I got all these thumbs up on there. I just got to throw it out there. 52 thumbs up. Okay. All right. I'm going to give you my formula. Now, the formula I'm about to put up here is what I call my magic formula. And my team calls it the magic formula. This is our coaching process. That if you drove to my academy today, I teach you this process. I can teach it right here online. This is our formula. This is what saves golfers, is this formula. Here it goes. Okay, number 1, you must learn, I'm going to put magic formula up here so you got it, formula. All right, this is my formula. I'm afraid to put it up here. Here's 4 thumbs up, I got one, okay. So, number 1, address and grip, address and grip. We got to teach you the address, grip. Now, notice I didn't say grip and address, right? So, and the reason I didn't say grip and address, how many of you learned grip and address when you were learning from anybody? Like you took a lesson, they taught you to go shoot the grip first. I don't do that. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. But notice, a grip and address and grip. That's just part of that. It's important that we understand that. So the first thing is address and grip. The second thing is positions. I'm going to teach you the positions. Remember, I showed them to you. I'm going to teach you the positions of the swing. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, why is there 6 positions? Because I got to make sure that there's these checkpoints that get you on the plane. We got to make sure you're getting on the club on plane. So we have checkpoints, 6 positions. Number 3, and this is where it gets interesting. And I have a question before I put number 3 up here. If I was going to teach you anything, right? If I was going to teach you, and I can't dance, by the way, but let's say I did know how to dance, and I was going to teach you how to dance. Let's say you and I went and learned how to dance. They're going to teach us what first? They're going to teach us the position of the body, then they're going to teach us the steps of the dance, and then when we put the steps into an order, we get a dance. What they're not going to do is teach us how to dance, right? You understand? So they're going to teach us how we position our body, our address position. Then they're going to teach us step 1, and then step 2, and then step 3. And then they're going to put those steps together, and pretty soon we have a dance. Okay? So we don't get to do what? We don't get the sequence until later. Right? So we get to now sequence. Sequence produces the dance. And then when we get good at it, guess what we can add? Speed. Now, again, didn't I say earlier that this is so common sense? You're like, Todd, tell me something I don't know. That is a formula for learning anything that you learn. If you want to learn to play the piano, what would you do? Where do you sit? Where do you position your hands? Where are the notes? What position do my hands hit the notes? Position. When I find the notes, position, 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 I add sequence to it, I start getting music, right? It's how you learn to, that's how you make music. This formula is not unique to me. This is how we learn. But let me show you this. I will bet you $100 bill that you learned your golf swing exactly backwards. I bet you learned because you grabbed a golf club and you ran out and your dad gave you a club or your buddy gave you a club or somebody hands you a golf club and you started doing what? You started swinging. And the minute you swing, you're trying to get speed. You started right there. And then you try to sequence this thing. You're trying to sequence your body. And then later on, you're like, this is a hard game because that little thing's not moving and I'm moving. And that thing's pretty small and this club's pretty small. Then you went back to your instructor and like, man, he started teaching you positions. Then he said, wow, I better figure out the grip. So you learned this way. You learned exactly backwards. You learned in a reverse formula. Well, I want to reverse that for you, right? But here's the thing I want to do. Everything I'm showing you here is based in science. Nothing I'm teaching you is not, that formula is based in science. This is how the human brain processes learning. It's how we reprogram our neural network. I don't want to get into all that about how the brain works, how you have a connection. It's called proprioception between your muscles and your brain, which then goes into the subconscious. That's a whole nother science. But this formula is designed to reprogram you if you do it correctly. There's one thing I want to add to this, and I want to go through these in detail. There's one thing I want to add to this. I'm going to put it here called the brakes. Now, let's go through each one of these things. I'm gonna explain when you learn this in the correct order. I'm taking that off here because you're gonna change this in your life. And I want you to look at something quickly about my formula before I go into each one. Do you notice how my formula is the exact formula that if you're ever having a problem in your golf swing, if you have any problem at all, you slice a golf ball, right? Don't try to stop slicing it. Go to my formula. If you hook a golf ball, don't try to stop hooking it. Go to the formula. I'm going to show you how every single problem you have will be solved by my formula. So tonight, when I start taking some questions and you guys will start putting me in there, I guarantee you that every question you ask me, I can solve with my formula. Okay, so this is your go-to. I'm solving your problems tonight, all your golf problems. Okay, let's talk about address and grip. The reason I teach address and grip is exactly the explanation I told you earlier. What's the most important moment? Impact. So if we grip the club too soon in the learning process, if we grip the club, we are now subject to the position of the hands. If we get it wrong, we will compensate somewhere to get the impact. Well, what we want to do is we want to address the body in the impact position and then grip the golf club. Now, this is the learning process, right? So I want to make sure my body position is correct before I get my hand position so I can be very similar to impact. So I address the body, that's that tilt, and then we grip the club. Address and grip. So that's part of the formula, is learning to address and grip, so that puts it on the single plane. Now, there's something really interesting about this. And this is where I get a little technical. Is it okay, guys, if I get a little technical with you here? Because I'm going to get into some biophysics.
Just go for it.
Scott's like, too many thumbs up. Okay, let me get technical with you. The beautiful thing about the single plane swing is that it's based in biophysics. That means it's based on the way your body is actually designed to move. Well, so you could call it a natural swing. And now I always tell people, there is a perfect golf swing inside of you if you position yourself correctly. Because the next thing I want to talk to you about is your positions. Those positions I showed you are all based in biophysics. Let me give you a quick example of this and we'll go through the positions. And you guys do this for me. If you're sitting in your chair, you're watching the show live, I want you to take your arm, your lead arm, and I'm just going to show you a quick range of motion thing. And I want you just to go like this. Just rotate your arm back and forth. And you can see all that range of motion, right? All that range of motion, okay? So you got 270 degrees. So I go from here to here, all the way to here. It almost goes all the way around. Tons of range of motion. Wouldn't you agree with me that the goal is to get the club square at impact? So if I grip the club, I want to make sure that that back of that hand, look at my body, is facing the target with the club facing impact. So I know I got to get the back of the hand at impact, right? So, but I got a problem because I got all this range of motion. How am I going to make sure this gets back to impact? Watch this. So now what I want you to do is I want you to tilt your body, a little tilt, just go like this, go to the right if you're right-handed. Put your arm back in front of you. This is called flexion. Flexion, okay? Put your arm in front of you. And now I want you to turn your arm. I'm going to turn it to my right as far as you can go. Now, there's a reason I'm doing this, and I'll explain it in a minute. So your thumb down. Put your thumb down, right? Straight down like this. Okay. Now, I want you to take your other hand. I want you to hold your arm that's in flexion. Hold your bicep, your upper arm, above the elbow. Hold it. Okay? Don't let it move. Okay? Everybody got it? Don't let it move. Now, turn your forearm. Only the forearm. Don't turn your arm. Turn the forearm. And you'll notice that the full range of motion of my hand goes to the target. Only. You can't go further. How many get that? Right? So again, I'll do it one more time. Tilt, flexion, internal rotation, thumb down. Don't let the upper arm move. Rotate forearm. It only goes to the target. Okay. Why am I showing you this? Because that's exactly what happens in a golf swing. Watch this. Tilt, backswing, internal rotation. Stays internal rotation, upper arm doesn't move, forearm squares the face. It's exactly what happens in a golf swing. Tilt, internal rotation, upper arm stays still, forearm rotates. Tilt, internal. I just showed you how you can square a club face every single time. Now, What created that? Positions. The positions of my body, tilt, look at my feet, positions, arm position, body position, square the face. Do you see that? So how important are positions now, right? Very important. So the second phase of learning this is simply learning from address and grip how to make that arm go internal on plane, stay internal, and then square the face, then release the speed, and then back to the plane. So I would teach you the 6 positions, right? That's the second part of this. All right. Now, once you learn the positions, just like if I was going to teach you how to dance, I'm going to sequence this. However, this is the cool part of this presentation because it's my favorite thing to talk about. I can't sequence you if I don't have certain parts of your body that are stopping and other parts that are moving. In other words, just like anything else, well, I'll give you a quick example. You can only move as fast as your braking system will let you. So the body must have parts that stop. And I get this question a lot. The question I get is, Todd, is the swing right-sided or left-sided? Is it a left side pull or a right-sided throw? You know, is it left-sided or right-sided? And my answer is it's both-sided. That's actually a when question. It's a when question because during the motion of a swing, certain parts aren't moving and certain parts are moving. And then when you change directions, certain parts are stopping and other parts are moving. So certain parts put the brakes on, don't move, and other parts keep moving. I'll give you an example. So let's go through the positions again. Notice how when I go position 1 to position 2, do you notice how my trail leg didn't move? I'm rotating around it, but it's not moving. Okay? So it has the brakes on. Now it allows my upper body to keep going and then allows my arms to get the club to position 2. Now I'm ready to produce speed. You see how I can't get, if I kept moving this leg and I would never get in a position to produce speed. Look at my head position. My trail leg still, watch my head, it's staying still too. You see now, because my head stayed still, it has its brakes on, and my leg stayed still, I can rotate to a position to produce speed. Okay? So you understand that certain parts of my body aren't moving. They have to stay still. But it gets real interesting in the downswing. So from here, when I change directions, now that puts the brakes on. And now as I come down, look at this, my pelvis is turning, upper body's turning, and what happens is, bang, I can get the club to do what we just talked about, square up. Now I want you to notice something. Look at my trail foot, it's on the ground. Why? Because it limits how much that pelvis can go. Okay, so let's go through the downswing sequence and how that club face gets perfectly square every single time. Watch this. Put the brakes on, sequence, smash the golf ball, limit, extension, thing. And what happens is because I'm allowing my body to reach its natural ranges of limits, the club will square at impact every single time. All right? Okay. That swing's already inside of you. You got to hit the positions. Then once you learn to sequence it with the brakes, you add speed. I swing hard at the golf ball, but because I have these parameters I swing within, I hit it perfectly square every single time. And you can do the same exact thing. Now here's the thing about this. Do you see my formula here? There's only one thing missing from my formula to learn this, is you're going to have to do it. You cannot learn by watching this video tonight. You will not learn if you don't do what's on this sheet right here. My team challenged me. They said, Todd, I want you to take your magic formula, your formula that's used, that you've taught for 30 years to people. I want you to take that formula and I want you to build me the most comprehensive program. How long do you think it's going to take somebody to do this? And I said, I need at least 30 days. I need 1 month. I need 30 days of dedicated accountability time with a person to get them to understand my formula. So I put together a program called Single Plane 30. This program, before I get into what this is, we have run almost 2,000 people through this program. It has been the most successful transformational program that I've ever created in my entire life. Last year we launched this program, 2,000 people have gone through this, and it is changing lives. I am so proud of Single Plane 30. Here's what it is. It's a 30-day training program. This program will transform your life because it's going to reprogram your brain in 30 days. And here's how we do it. Week 1, we build what? The address and grip, the foundation. We build the address and grip. And there's some things to it, because you saw me go through the address and grip, right? You saw me go through this, but you're probably asking, well, what do you do on the golf course? Well, you're already programmed to set your address and grip when you play. So I'm teaching you how to do this. I'm reprogramming your body to do this perfectly. Week 2, of course, we go through the positions and we're doing repetitions. I teach you week 2 and we start getting into the braking system. But here's the thing about it, before we get into week 3, the positions, you saw what I did and when I was showing you that, create the brakes. So when you have the correct positions, you're building the braking system into your swing already. So we build that into the positions. Week 3, I teach you the sequence, how to sequence it. We have certain drills and specific things we do sequence. And then week 4, guess what? We add speed. It's a 4-week dedicated daily training program that keeps you accountable. But here's the beautiful thing. This program is built on accountability. It has training every single day. Here's how it works. I get lots of questions about this. And if you guys have questions in the chat, please let me know. We drop you a daily training module. So you wake up in the morning and you get the module. I'm not live with you every single day. You get the module. So you can do the module whenever you want. Now, in some of the videos in the module, I am training with you. But inside our Single Plane Academy, you will have to check the box that you completed the module. So it's going to want you. So it's keeping you accountable. I am keeping you accountable. I'm your coach for the program. I will coach you through these 30 days. I coach you every single day. I sometimes do it with you in the module, but I'm not live with you, so you don't have to, it's not like you got to be at a certain time. You can do the training anytime during the day. Matter of fact, you can do it in the morning and in the evening if you wanted to, but the module is delivered to you every single day. So it's keeping you accountable to complete your module. You can kind of see an example here on the screen here. We're looking at inside Single Plane Academy. You're seeing people are posting videos of themselves accomplishing certain modules, right? So we have a whole academy lined up for this. Now, before we go on, I am actually I do Zoom calls with you while you're in the class. So if you join the class for March, which starts on March, here's what happens. The class starts on Monday. So you have to be joined by Monday, okay? And then I get on the Zoom calls with you once a week and I coach you through the class. You can hop on in live like this and answer questions, anything you have about that week's training. And the coaches are also helping you through it as well. So you're getting coached in this program. You're training the modules, you're being held accountable, you're doing the daily training, and we hop on with you once a week and make sure you're on track doing the thing. Inside Single Plane Academy, we're talking to you. You can answer questions. We're coaching you inside the program. We're totally helping you get through this program perfectly if you have any issues. You're gonna love this training. You've never been trained like this before. There is no training program on earth is qualified to help you transform your game than Single Plane 30. Now we charge, if I do tons of these training programs inside our Single Plane Academy, we charge $1,000 just for this program, but I have a special offer for you guys tonight in this program. Here's the offer for tonight. I'm gonna give you the 30-day training program. Right now it's a $649 value. The daily accountability is $349, and the live coaching support from me and the other team, $999 value. The program is $297 for 30 days of training. A $300 investment for a lifetime of better golf. It's nothing. $300 value. Now, I'm gonna give you some more. By the way, here's the link if you guys are interested. And by the way, we have special offers for the first 50, and I know there's a giveaway tonight as well. For the first 50 tonight, gravesgolf.com/enroll. gravesgolf.com/enroll. Jump in the class with me. It starts on Monday, and you gotta hop in because it starts on Monday. But here it is. I'm gonna give you a bonus because obviously when I start adding speed to your swing, I want you to start understanding the difference between power and speed. And so I'm going to give you first bonus I'm going to give you for signing up for the 297. It's included in the 297, my Power Generation Masterclass. Another great class that we put together where you learn the difference between what the lower body is doing and the upper body is doing to produce speed. It's going to accelerate what you learned in Single Plane 30. So I'm going to give you this. Basically, here's some details. What's the difference between power and speed, what upper body and lower body is doing, why the body movement is key to speed. We learn a lot of that in Single Plane 30. How to train and build power. So now, once you learn how to do Single Plane 30, we want to build the speed and stability, increase more power. And of course, you want to increase your speed, right? But listen, I do not want anybody taking Power Generation Masterclass if they haven't gone through single plane 30. That's why I give it to you at the end of this course. So I'm going to give that to you. Now here's the key. Here's one of the kickers. Because I'm glad you guys, how many are still on tonight? If you're still on this, you're getting some deals. Because I'm going to do something with you real quick. One of the things that I got to make sure, because I'm your coach, and we're all coaches here, and I want to make sure you practice correctly. Address and grip correctly, positions of the swing correctly. Look at what I have on the ground here. This is a proprioception tool. What does that mean? This gives me visual cues on exactly where my body position is. I'm learning from looking down. Right now, I'm learning because I'm seeing things in a particular way. I'm learning as I stand here. So anytime you're practicing, you're learning. Well, I got to make sure you practice correctly, right? I got to make sure that. So I have these training aids. You're seeing my alignment ball position trainer. This gives you the cues on where the ball position, your foot position is. I have my Feeling of Greatness training club. This gets your hand position on there. It even teaches you the proper distance from the ball if you know how to use it. That retails for $100. This retails for $129, $130. And then I have my single plane trainer. The single plane trainer, watch this. It creates an alignment, has a Feeling Greatness training club on it. And it references, watch this, this teaches you swing plane. See how it's planing? You can see the plane? This teaches you swing plane. So this trainer right here keeps that lead side relationship and teaches you swing plane. This is another $100 product. So I have $300 worth of product, but here's what I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna give you 50% discount on these products for joining tonight, right? 50% off. So you paid $297, I'm gonna give you 50% off the training aids. But I'm also going to do this for you. If you're still watching, you're getting lucky. I'm going to give you a $150 gift card. Do the math on that. So I've given you half off, $300, and I give you a $150 gift card. Do the math. You're basically getting these things, right? I'm giving you the training aids that you need to practice perfectly. So here's the package for you. I'm giving you the single plane 30 package, the Power Generation Masterclass, $500 value, 50% off the training aids, $150 gift certificate. The total value of that is $2,815, all for $297. $297 for a lifetime of great golf. It's nothing in the investment of your life. Nothing. Here's the kicker though. gravesgolf.com/enroll. If you don't love this program, if you don't think it's the greatest program you've ever trained in, if it doesn't transform you in 30 days and you think, Todd, this is the greatest thing I've ever done, I will give you 100% of your money back. That's how much I love this program and think it's going to help you. You can't lose. You cannot lose in my program. I'm giving away the training aids. I am giving you perfect feedback tools. I'm giving you Power Generation Masterclass. And I'm giving you 30 days of perfect training, better training than you've ever done before in your life. And if you don't love it, I'll give you your money back. There's no risk to you at all. All right, let's take some questions. Remember, we're going to keep this on the screen, gravesgolf.com/enroll to get in the program. It starts Monday. We start the class on Monday. You have to be in by Monday because by the way, before I get into the questions, the reason we love doing this is because everybody goes through the class at the same pace. This is why we don't just give you the videos and say, good luck. We don't do that. We're a coaching company. We coach you. We're here to support and coach you through this entire process. We know how difficult it is to learn things. We're coaches. We want to guide you through the process. So we're going to support you through the entire program. That's why we start everybody on Monday and we work with you for the 30 days. So we're a coaching company. We're not just hanging you out there. So I just want you to know that because we want to make sure that you get in there by Monday and so you get coached through the month. And by the way, we start the next month too, but I don't want you to, why would you wait? Why would you wait till the next month to do the program when you could be doing this right now? Here's a good question. Should I stop playing golf when going through this course? Larry, we have this question a lot. And the answer is, I recommend that you take 30 days and you don't play golf. That is the ideal thing for this course. However, I understand that you want to play golf. So here's what I recommend. If you're going to play some golf while you go through the course, we want to make sure you get the transformational benefits from the program. It's scientifically based. It's doing things to your way your body reprograms. So my recommendation is you do the module in the morning if you first deliver it before you play, and then you might go play golf, and then you do the module again after you play. I want to make sure that you sandwich your playing with the modules because we have to make sure your brain is cueing in on the training because it's neural programming. And it's designed this way. This is what we call progressive training, by the way. I should have put this up here earlier. This is progressive formula. This is a progressive formula. That means it's progressing you. It's progressing your neural capabilities. So there's science behind it. Hey, Frank, he says, I have back pain. Will this help? Let me show you. I kind of mentioned this a minute ago, but let me show you how the single plane swing solves the back problem, all right? So in conventional golf, Frank, you're probably a conventional golfer. I don't know if Frank's on there or not. Conventional golf, when you swing a golf club, your upper body's going down and your lower body's moving up, and you're creating space, and it puts stress in the back. The single plane swing eliminates the upward motion, so you no longer have the compression, and so you don't get the shear. So single plane swing, because my lower back doesn't have to really move and it stays in the same spot, it takes the pressure off your back. Learning the single plane swing and the positions will save your back. Yeah, so I've kind of mentioned this. The question is, are all the classes live? Are there live parts of the class? Not all the classes are live. We go live 4 times a month. The classes are delivered to you in modules. The modules have you watch the module, however, some of the modules I'm working with you in the module, not live, but I have a recorded session where I'm doing it with you because I want to be coaching you in the module. I'm not just saying, here's what you need to learn, good luck. I'm saying, here, do this, do this, do this. So I'm telling you what to do. It's proactive training. I'm doing it with you. So that happens every single day, and then you train that module. Okay, good question here. What if I can't do the training every single day? You can miss 1 or 2 days, but you got to make sure you go make up those modules. And you can do more than 1 module a day, right? I wouldn't do more than a couple, but you can make up the modules. No problem if you miss a day of the training. Don't miss a week, right? Don't miss a week of the training. You'll be behind. But missing a day, you'll be fine. Here's a good question. I live in a cold climate. Should I wait to take the class until golf season? The best time to take this class is really in the off season, but let me tell you something. We launched this class a year ago. We launched it January of 2024. And it was the off season, right? The class was so powerful that the students that went through the class the first month took it another month. And then they may have waited a month. We had students taking the club 5, 6 times. Why? Because this training is powerful anytime you do it. Let me just explain something. If you came to me right now and you're playing golf, I'm going to teach you my formula. I'm going to walk you through. I'm going to check your address and grip. I'm going to check your positions. I'm going to look at your sequence and your breaks and your speed, and then your speed. It doesn't matter when. This is what you should be doing. Doesn't matter when. If you're playing golf, you should be training. It's like this. How do you stay in shape? Right? How do you stay in shape? Well, you can't just work out for 1 month and never work out again. When should I work out? In the off season? No, you should work out all the time. You should stay healthy. This keeps you healthy. This program is designed to keep you healthy. It's going to teach you how to do it. It's going to teach you the swing, and it's going to keep you healthy. That's what this program is all about. So take it anytime. This should be taken all the time. I wish people take it every single month. Oh, we got a lock and roll putter winner. Okay, great.
We got 2 winners.
Oh, we got two lock and roll putter winners?
1 after this today.
Okay, listen. We have, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the lock and roll putter. Let me show it to you. I want to just mention this because I don't do this very often. The lock and roll putter is a putter that we designed. It's a single plane putter. Notice how it locks to my lead arm. See how it forms a straight line just like the single plane swing? And it lines up with the trail arm, and it moves in a linear fashion straight down the line. It's the simplest way to putt. This is the lock and roll putter, and so it's this putter specifically designed to single plane putt. By the way, it's science, right? I'm doing everything based on science and making golf easier. And we have 2 winners of our lock and roll putter. One is...
No, lock and roll's the first one.
Oh, we have 1 winner, lock and roll putter. Bart Weens, W-I-E-N-S, Weens. Okay, Bart Weens, congratulations on the lock and roll. You'll love the putter. Oh, and the second winner wins a level 3 membership. This is a $1,000 value. It's where you get to work with our coaches every single month for a year. That's a level 3 membership. So that's Frank O'Doherty. Yep, great. Congratulations, Frank, on winning the level 3 membership.
We'll be in touch with them.
Oh yeah, and those of you guys that won the putter, we will get in touch with you. We'll reach out to you via email and get you set up and get your putter fitting for the lock and roll, and also get you connected in level 3. All right, let's go through this one more time. Here's the package again for single plane 30. Single plane 30, The course is a $2,000 value with all the things that are included in it, the fast action bonuses, and then me as your coach. I charge quite a bit of money to coach people, as you know. The total value over $5,000, only $297. Obviously, the training aids are part of that program as well. gravesgolf.com/enroll. Join me. It starts Monday, and we have a deadline, so you got to join by Monday. Okay, here's a question. Course sounds good. Cost sounds good. Does it make sense to enroll in the course without the specialized clubs? When you, I recommend, obviously you're getting these, but I recommend using this as your training club. This is the Feeling Greatness Training Club. It has a grip on it that helps you get the stuff we talked about with the address and grip position. It teaches you a lot about the address and grip to get your orientation correct. It teaches you the proprioception of where your hand should be and your arm should be. And I recommend just using this in the course. It's all you're going to need. Nice to have the ABT that teaches me the ball position. And now with a single plane trainer, I can train everything you need in the single plane 30 course with these aids. If you don't have these aids, you can use your 6-iron as well. You'll be fine with that, but obviously you won't get the benefit of the tools. Here's from a YouTube, one of my guys on YouTube. When I watch Mo hit the ball at impact, it looks like he has actually dropped his hips about 6 inches when he strikes the ball and then raises up after impact. How far down did he drop it back? That's a great question. What I measured, because I measured a lot of this, he had about a 3-inch pelvis drop, which is beautiful, by the way, because I'll kind of turn to you in the camera. When your pelvis goes down, see when it goes down, it's taking compression off of your back. And so, for example, if you're pushing up and the upper body is going down, you're getting compression. Well, why is it going down? Well, his knee. Look, his knee. Go see the knee bands. That's stabilizer. That's my brake. Stabilization. Well, when I stabilize, the pelvis should go down and stay there. That's a beautiful part of the braking system. That's why you're seeing the pelvis go down. So it's a good observation, and it's exactly what needs to happen. That's really, if you put it in a nutshell, that's what's saving the back. What is the best drill for early release? Any hints on transition, as I suspect one leads to the other, from Bill. Bill, when I see people release early, let's talk about what release early is first. Generally, people, when they talk about release early, is they don't lead the hands. See, when I'm at impact, do you see how the hands lead to impact? All right, so the hands lead to impact. When I release early, the hands aren't leading. Let's use my formula to solve this problem, right? Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the address and grip. Now, generally speaking, it's not too hard to get address and grip, right? You can figure this out, address and grip. So let's say you have a perfect address and grip. Let's just make that check. So I'm going to do this with a green check mark. My formula, because I would check that, says Frank, or Bill, sorry, is it Bill? Yeah, Bill, you got a perfect address and grip. Now I'm going to check your backswing, right? Position 1. And then position 2, there's your backswing. I'm going to see if you're good there. Great, look great. Okay, let's say you're good there. 3, all of a sudden 4, oh my gosh. Everything's good except impact. You're releasing early, all right? Now, I got to figure out why you're releasing early. So I look at that and I see that you don't have enough rotation. So the reason people release early is because when they're coming down, they don't have enough rotation in their body. And the only thing left is their hands go. So because we see that in my formula, we improve your rotation coming down. See that? We improve rotation coming down, and I fix the release early. That's a release problem that was found by looking at all. But here's the thing: if I saw you doing something, let's say you're doing this in position 1, we got to fix that first, because there's no way I can come down to a golf ball from that position. So we have to use this formula to find the cause of the problem. Let me do one more thing here. Do you see there's one, if you asked me, Todd, if you asked the question, and maybe you had this in your head, why is your instruction, why is single plane 30 and what you're teaching so different than everybody else? This is it. What I'm teaching you here is causal. It's a causal approach. Have you ever heard that term before? Somebody in the chat, tell me if you've heard causal before. Causal approach is, I need to find the cause of the problem, right? It's the opposite of quick fix. Quick fix is, you got a problem, let's find some solution for it. No, I am finding the underlying cause of the problem, okay? It's a causal approach. how can you have a causal approach? Well, the only way to have a causal approach is to have a model, because you have to have something that tells you whether you're matching it or not, and what's causing you not to match it. Does that make sense? So what's our model? Single plane, right? We start, swing, and impact on the same plane. So it's so easy to have a causal approach to the swing, and the reason I can solve, was it Bill again? Bill's problem with his release early, because I know exactly how to find it, because I know what's going to cause it, right? So my formula allows me to have a causal solution to every single problem you have in your golf swing. And that's what's so beautiful about it. It's so simple. In my two-plane instruction in the past, they would have me feel my right leg coiling up in my backswing. Should I feel the same coiling action in my right leg for the single plane swing? Hey, Lee, here's a question for you. Coiling up could mean a lot of different things, right? Coiling up. In what happens, let me just tell you, here's biophysics of the backswing, right? And so what you feel, you'd have to tell me what you feel when you do this. Here's what we recommend in the single plane swing. When you turn, there's pelvis rotation. The trail leg stays still. That's the braking system I talked about. So you have rotation into the trail leg, it's staying still, and then I move up into the backswing, right? So my trail leg is staying still as I rotate my pelvis. I'm bracing against the inside of the foot and the inside of the heel. That's going to allow me to transition in the downswing, and that was a question asked a minute ago about transition. That's what I want you to feel. And it's a very easy thing to measure in the swing. Is that called coiling up? I don't know, right? I don't know if that's what you're working on, but that's what we recommend is you brace against that leg and you rotate the pelvis, and we call it the A-frame. You frame that leg up and you don't let that leg move too much, and it stabilizes it. I speak in terms of stability, holding parts of your body still, and movement, moving other parts. Terms like coiling up, I don't use those very often because those don't have measurables to them. Does that make sense? I like measurables.
Last one.
Okay, last question here, and we got to roll. One more time, gravesgolf.com/enroll. You got to be in by Monday to join the class. I hope you join the class. Here we go. Any tips for swing tempo? Swing tempo is naturally created from what? Let's go through it. If your address and grip is perfect, and you hit the positions of your swing perfectly, and you sequence, there's where your tempo comes in because you're putting the pieces together, and you produce speed. Remember how a minute ago I said that you have a swing inside of you. It's already there. All you have to do is hit positions, learn how to put those positions to sequence, and speed. Let me ask you this. If you were going to learn to play the piano, and you learned the notes, you learned where to place your hands, and you learned what order to play them in, do you need to have tempo? No, because when you play those notes, the music comes out. I'm going to help you get the ideal perfect tempo based on you putting yourself in the correct positions. Tempo is naturally created from those positions. You don't have to think about it. Matter of fact, I don't ever want you thinking about tempo. I want you hitting positions, using your braking system, and adding speed, and you'll have a perfect tempo from the positions you hit. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you, everybody. What?
Unannounced bonus.
Oh, I almost forgot. How many people are still hanging in there?
We'll get a few hundred still.
A few hundred people. Guys, I am so proud of this, and Scott reminded me that we weren't going to do this, but I have an unannounced bonus for you. I produced a single plane training journal. Now, you may not think this is a big deal. This is a massive deal because this journal, as you go through this thing guides you through single plane 30. It teaches you how to practice. It keeps you accountable. It tracks your practice. Our coaches track your practice through it. It makes you log how you're training inside single plane 30. This journal, it took a long time to put this thing together. It helps us understand exactly what we do inside single plane 30. And this training, I'm going to give you this training manual. If you join single plane 30 tonight, I'm going to give this to you. This is a $50 value. We charge $50 for this journal. I'm going to give you another $50 if you sign up gravesgolf.com/enroll. If you sign up by Monday, I'm going to give you this journal. All right. We good? Thanks for joining me. I hope you got something out of the program. I hope you learned that you have a swing inside of you and you can transform your golf game. Follow my formula. Let's get going on this. Simplify your ability to get to impact. Use the formula and you'll play the best golf of your life. I'll see you hopefully soon inside single plane 30.
What is happiness? Happiness is achievement. What's the father of achievement? Motivation. What's the mother? Encouragement. The fine golf swing is truly achievement. Man may lie, cheat, and steal for gain. But you don't never gain the golf swing. To gain the golf swing, man must work. It's work without toil. For those of us who know and love it, golf is truly happiness.